Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This chair's not as comfy as the office.
Okay, we'll start with the approval of the minutes from
Madam
March 31st. What?
Can I interrupt the meeting for a minute? I have something to say. Is it okay? For me to, I have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Is the speakers, are the speakers on?
No,
Or
we
anything?
don't have the
No?
speakers.
Okay, all right.
That's all right, I can talk louder. I just wanted to make sure it was okay for me to speak.
Yeah.
Yep, I will. But I want to get approval first.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but I have something to say because try not to cry. I've been coming to these meetings regularly for 23 years. And
You use the microphone?
it doesn't
It's
do
not
anything.
amplified.
We don't have speakers set up, Donna.
No, that's not part of that goes to the camera, I think. So,
speak nice. Maybe you could-
there's been a lot of turmoil in our town the last few weeks, and mostly online, unfortunately, for those who choose to participate that way. And I have sat back and I haven't said anything. And, I'm new to the board. I was appointed last fall. I was elected in March. And I have a statement to make because, I've had a certain opinion about how things operate in town for many years, and I try to speak up over the years, but, there's a lot of bullying going on. So, first of all, I'm fully aware that these words will be analyzed, misconstrued, and probably become the next source of lies and rumors and innuendo. But I will say them anyway. I would like to say to my fellow board members that I believe each and every one of you brings value to this role. This role is very important, and I feel like I really enjoy working with all of you, and I think we all have a little piece of the pie that we take. I have sat back and listened to perspectives of employees and residents in these meetings, and I know in my heart that if any single one of you were subjected to what Selectman Gray has been subjected to, I would also be putting pen to paper to correct any falsehoods on your behalf. To the public, it is a fact, not hearsay and not rumor, that many in this town has or have felt that their voices were stifled by retribution, retaliation, and bullying. And for how long? 10 years, 20 years? Nobody will ever really know how long it has gone on. But I can 100% count myself in that category. I've stood at meetings and been bullied. There has been bullying in this town on full display, and it's recorded now. For me, what I'm witnessing the last few weeks, is more of that same bullying. And now it's on steroids. And it's sad, and again, I'm trying not to cry. This is a town that I love. I raised my kids here. Because of this, voters have come out in unprecedented numbers and voted to change that. To repeatedly be told that's the way we've always done things no longer holds water for many. Showed at the polls. Their voices through their votes have been heard. This board is mandated to accomplish those changes. I believe and have witnessed that this board operating cohesively to make policy and procedure changes is an effective tool to accomplish these things. To review existing policy and question why those policies were not followed for the best interest of the town, mind you, or to change them because they're not in the best interest of the town. This is simply doing our due diligence. If tweaking policy and double checking on liability, legality, and et cetera is considered toxic or micromanaging, then I guess I simply have a different definition of those words. And you know what? That's okay, because we are individuals and there's no expectation of all of us to think alike. As far as the recent negativity surrounding not only our board and our town, but Selectman Gray in particular, my comment is this. I have only witnessed an extreme willingness to help and a thoroughness that has never been displayed by any Town of Medicine Select Board member. Selectman Gray brings receipts. She is a vault of knowledge and is willing to listen, explain, investigate, and research any and all concerns that a resident or employee may have. She has an unprecedented desire to help and assist. her fellow board members, members of the public, and each and every town employee that chooses to bring their concerns to light. I have never witnessed anything counter to this. In Madison, it seems the bullying and retaliation lives on, despite our best efforts to put an end to it. The town mandated change, and this oftentimes is what it can look like. Change is messy, but speaking for myself, I look forward to brighter days in our future. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yep.
So approval of minutes from March 31st. Did everyone have a chance to review them?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Jake, second by Jim to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Manifest. I have the manifest. All right, so approval of the manifest for a total of $306,766.75. $55,408.47 is payroll. $12,857.90 is payroll liabilities. $38,538 is accounts payable, and $200,000 to the Madison School District. We are having an issue where we're unsure of what funds are where. At this point, as of this afternoon, it showed we were going to have a shortage. So we are working to make sure that that is sorted out as quickly as possible. So we're trying to find the right information to take care of that. Anyone wish to make a motion to approve the manifest?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jake, second by Joe.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay. Jim?
Yes. Aye.
Aye. 3, excuse me, Nicole and I were nay.
3, 2, okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Can I ask why you were next?
Yeah, what? Because of your concern with the fund balance or something?
Because we want to sort out the money first and sort out.
Well, that, and I was there this morning waiting for it, it just wasn't done.
Oh, okay.
I was there for 3 hours, and I want to make sure the money's there. Well, maybe we could stand up, I don't know.
I'll speak louder.
Oh, Jake can. Jake's got that covered.
Right.
I'll just be like, tell them that.
Okay.
All right, as noted on the agenda, public comments will be moved after the signature items because we have just a few items of business that we want to make sure that we finish and accomplish before opening up to as much public comment as possible. All right, so first discussion item of new business is new hires that we've had that have already started and that are starting. Starting Thursday, we have a new town administrator. She comes with a great deal of experience in New Hampshire government and RSAs, managing $43.5 million projects and such. So we're looking forward to her joining us. We also started last week a part-time office assistant, again, extremely qualified, bringing a lot to the job already. So we appreciate her. I think that's it for new hires. We do have a couple of openings. The board did vote to have a dedicated part-time land use administrator position. So we'll be posting that. What else we got? Oh, we have an opening for town treasurer. So our deputy is stepping in for now. So if anyone is interested in becoming town treasurer, we'll get that posting up. That's it for now. Did I miss anything? Nope.
Nope, I think that's everybody.
As far as
Okay. All right, and Jake, you sent us the MOU, but did it get printed in our packets? I'm just wondering now.
I don't
actually.
know. I did not print it. I apologize. I did send it to everybody, but
I didn't see it.
All right.
Did we need to sign it, or just agree on it?
we gotta sign it. But we can make
Sign
a
it.
motion to sign out of session.
Okay.
Do you want to explain what it is, so that we can tell everybody?
Okay, do you have the gist of it, or do you have a copy of it?
Let me pull it up,
Okay.
and I'll go over it. Yep. If the internet will allow.
Truth.
But Adam can speak to it. I believe the MOU for the
For
I
the
don't have it in
school.
front of me, so I can't read it verbatim, but basically the MOU is giving the rec.
Sorry, Adam, can you stand up?
Yes,
so
I
the
can.
camera-
Happy to.
Thank you.
The MOU is giving rec access to this building through this door, where we will have storage in that closet and that closet alone. So it will allow us to have our own key to the building that only accesses this side of the building. And that way, when we have our events, we don't have to get into the town hall or run things back and forth. We have storage here. It's a generic agreement covering both sides for insurance purposes.
Did we have this last year?
We looked at it a little
okay.
while
Right.
ago.
Yeah, it sounds
We asked the
familiar.
school board to tweak it when I was still sitting on the board.
Alright.
The school board made those tweaks for us. They'd like you to sign it, and then it'll go back to them for a signature.
Okay.
Point of order, please. I don't think most of these people can hear.
We'll shut the mics.
Should we,
Raise your hand if you can hear.
There's not a whole lot we can do about it.
so the Madison Rec has entered in or will enter into an MOU to use the closet outside this door for storage. That will allow the Madison Rec to have a key that is only accessible through that door there so that they can enter for their, when they have events here, and there's less going into the town office and back, having to orchestrate that. So all their storage should be in here, and it seems to be a better streamlined plan for the rec. And we will sign it, and then it'll go back to the school board for a final signature, and then we will have the MOU.
Okay. It looks like the MOU only requires signatures between the Madison School District and the Town of Madison Recreation Department. So it looks like it doesn't require signatures of the Board of Selectmen.
Correct, but I don't think that the rec has approval to sign it without its.
Our
Yeah.
approval, right.
Yep.
It's raining,
I know, I was just looking up.
pouring.
All right, next order of business is Mad TV. Jake, you had requested, yes, sorry.
I just asked, rather than have the rec director sign it and have it go to the school board and have them be upset with it, I would prefer it was a member of this board that signed the MOU as elected officials.
It's just one signature?
I believe it's just one, but
Okay. I mean, I don't mind, I mean, you can sign I'm on the rec committee, so I can sign
Fine.
it. That
I
way
just
it's-
think they'd be
You're the,
more
you're the
pleased with.
committee rep.
Right,
Yep.
so.
That's fine.
Okay, so it looks like the version we got was a draft. So if everyone is comfortable, you know, provide any necessary feedback to Jake individually by tomorrow or Friday. And then if we could get a final version, and instead of rec department, if it would say selectmen.
Yep, can you guys vote to sign it out of session if I get you it without, if it just says selectmen?
Yep. Yep, I'll accept a motion to sign it out of session.
So moved?
Second?
Second.
All right.
Who seconded?
Me.
Both Jim and Joe.
Yep.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah,
Unanimous.
let's take care of that.
All right, next item is Mad TV. Both Jake and Mad TV had requested time on the agenda.
Yeah, so I want to clear some, I think, misunderstandings with my view, I guess, on Mad TV. I love Mad TV. I enjoy being able to watch things, and I think it's an invaluable service the town has. The only concern is, and it's been brought to me, and I had concerns, and it has been said to me before that there's other concerns of just how it operates. Is it supposed to be independent? Is it supposed to be a town organization? So I don't want it to seem like I'm not looking to defund, to get rid of, to any way hinder Mad TV. In the spirit of everything working fluidly, and like Nicole said, just because it's business as usual, if it's not right, we need to fix it. So we're in the process of trying to find the bylaws and origination documents and things like that to understand completely if Mad TV is meant to be an independent organization or a town organization. And to speak to that, what I have found so far, and we haven't found the bylaws yet, they're not in the vault, so we're not sure where they might be, but excuse me one second. From the Madison TV 2005 report, it states that Madison TV was launched in April 2005 with the Selectmen's agreement that it would be an independent agency. 3 Madison TV directors will not serve on any other board as to avoid conflicts of interest. The Selectmen also agreed that the voters would decide in 2006 whether they would like to elect the Madison TV directors starting in 2007 or to continue to have the Selectmen appoint the Madison TV board directors. There is currently a Madison TV director's position open, and the contact information. And just so we're clear, the following year, the town did not want to vote in those members. So it is still up to the Selectmen as far as I have seen reading through the countless town reports. So again, we're just trying to figure that out and what that will look like if it is an independent organization, like it seems like it's supposed to be according to this. Again, I looked through all the town reports from 2005 to 2025 to see if anything had been voted on to change that, and there was nothing in there that changed any of that. So our hope is that we'll work with the MAD TV board to figure out exactly what the operations look like and move forward from there so that we can have a clear delineation of what the purpose and procedure is for that board and that organization.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to find out what happened when and why. You know, when did the current state of things, get decided, and when were those decisions made so that we can understand why they were made, do they make sense now?
Right.
And if they do make sense now,
Right, and
figure it out.
again, I think there's pros and cons to both sides, whether it's town-run or independent. I mean, I like government oversight. I'm not a huge fan of government oversight overseen by the government. But it also if they were an independent, things like going to Tamworth for meetings, there would be kind of less red tape. There's no public meeting to set a rate, and they would be able to do more of that stuff to become more self-sufficient. And again, still funding through the same avenues we do now, which is the franchise fees and then whatever above and beyond that the town, just like they do now, would vote on a warrant article for the funding, and then the money would be given to them if that's how the independent part would work. Again, it's not to put a chokehold on or change anything, it's just to get it clarified because there's a lot of uncertainty. And again, like with a lot of things, the purchasing policy and the other things that we've gone through, it's not an attack, it's trying to make sure it's operating as it was meant to be and as it should be, so that it operates the way it's designed and that there's no gray area, there's no miscommunication, and there's no recourse for doing things inappropriately in the future.
We never have gray areas. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Did you want to?
You want to speak?
up
I'll
there
try
to
to write
speak, or-
down what you say.
Okay, I'll just sit here, if that's
Okay.
okay. So I also requested time on the agenda as the department head of Mad TV, and I've been working for Mad TV for 5 years now. I am just kind of looking for some answers and hopefully a solution, because there was some uncertainty as to what is going on with the air conditioner at our office. I came before this select board November 25th of 2025. I requested, because the air conditioner that is in that office died, I requested that it be replaced with a new air conditioner that's on the outside wall, because right now the air conditioner that has been in there and that ran in there for, I guess, 21 years, is on an interior wall. And the minutes of that meeting reflect that there would be a solution discussed with the DPW, and there would be a report back to us. There was no update, so March 31st, 2026, I asked for an update. The answer from the board was that there was a plan in place and to get in touch with the DPW, which I did. I did that on April 1st, and there was perhaps maybe a plan in place. We made a plan to come back to the office on April 3rd. When I showed up at the office April 3rd, there was a response from the DPW that they were not allowed to touch the building because Mad TV may be independent. Anyway, it wasn't their problem. And then I met with Selectman Nordland at her office hours this morning, April 14th, and I find out that decision was changed so that the DPW can board up the wall, but it still didn't seem like there was any solution to putting an air conditioner in there. So right now, there's no air conditioning in that office space. I agree with Selectman Bowie, we should come up with, whether that's an MOU or bylaws or whatever moving forward so we can decide how we operate. But to address the issue at that office now or over the past 5 months when the request was first made, I would just like some answers as to where we're heading with that and if there's a solution.
I've spoken with Asia regarding the air conditioner. I went down, met with Dave. I looked at the building. The plan is to probably put a mini split system in, like a Daikin or a Mitsubishi. They're gonna get price quotes for that. And we haven't proceeded that far yet. As a temporary solution, I offered Asia, I would loan her a portable air conditioning system that we could put in there to keep her equipment cool. As, it was 76 degrees. It's probably 100 degrees in your room today.
Yeah.
So, until we can come up with a more permanent solution, I'll work with the DPW, and it's a, stand up and it vents out the wall, just a flex tube. So if Asia's happy with that, or I can work with Dave and Dylan to get that done, we'll take care of that. So at least the equipment's not overheating, potentially damaging the equipment. Is that acceptable to you?
I mean, I'm not the only one. I know some of my board members are here. I don't know if we want to answer that tonight.
Again, it's a Band-Aid approach,
Yeah,
a quick
I-
fix. At least we're not having overheating equipment.
I think that would be a temporary solution for now. I mean, it still would vent to an interior wall, which
I know
is
it's not ideal,
great.
believe me, but
Yeah.
Are there
It-
any exterior windows in that office?
no,
There's a window, but I don't see how,
yeah.
It doesn't open at all?
I don't think so.
But I don't
Noreen,
know.
if you're speaking for Mad TV? Did you want to speak
Okay.
for Mad TV? Come on up.
Yeah, come on up.
So, yes, the air conditioner is no longer functioning. The big issue with the current air conditioner, the one that's not functioning, is that it's pulling in bad fumes out of the garage. And that was making people ill. My husband, for one, who is an IT person, who went to work on the computer systems, felt dizzy and had headache. So that was the reason for asking for an external wall unit. I know that Mr. McAllister has an exterior wall unit that he's willing to donate. So it's possible that we could go to a two-phase. We could do a temporary solution and put in his unit in that area where the current one is, rather than trying to vent yours. That might be one
Well, whatever will
alternative.
work for you.
Okay, as a temporary, but phase two would be to look for something more permanent, which might be a mini split that can maybe perhaps provide heat and air conditioning or heat
That would
if
be-
it's needed. But that does take a little bit longer. I know that Asia has a quote for one. I'm sure we can get another quote or two for that type of solution.
No, I just want to come up with, again, it's a temporary solution.
Right.
But we don't want to have the equipment, now that the weather's getting warmer, overheating. And
Right.
I saw the room, it's very small, very tight.
It's
Yeah.
small and it's tight,
Yeah.
and the equipment is very expensive. It's also very sensitive to temperature control, so we need to do
Well,
something.
we'll come up with something
in the coming
for the
week or
short term,
two.
till we can come up with a more permanent solution.
Right. Thank you.
All right, I'll work with Asia or whatever, and we'll get something done.
Is Dylan here? Hey, do you mind coming up? Thank you. Have you looked at the office at all, or anyone on the team looked at the office to see if there is any way, like whatever window is in there, to have a temporary vent out the existing window?
I would advise against going out the window,
Okay,
just because if that equipment is that expensive, that window is huge. Somebody could easily push that in and climb right in the window.
okay. All right, thank you.
That's my thought.
It's not a good window.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Just want to get the expert opinion.
It's a 60-year-old
Yeah, if
garage.
you and Dave, Dylan, if you and Dave could, we get together and see what we can kind of come up with, at least to, short term. Thanks, thank you.
Is there a good window within the garage itself that we use the existing hole in the wall into the garage to then use the plexi tube or whatever to reach out to a window? That's kind of rigging it pretty
I don't think
badly,
there's
but,
Yeah.
a-
Right? I don't think there's any other windows.
no?
I'm thinking.
All right,
All right, well, yeah, we'll figure something out.
okay.
At least,
Right.
until we can come up with a more permanent solution.
Okay, so Joe,
And then we
Go ahead.
if we do go with the mini split, I believe we will need approval from this board to spend from our expendable trust fund to fund that.
Okay.
What price range have you got?
Like anywhere from 5 to 7,000,
Okay.
depending on.
That seems at what the
what we
smaller
go
mini
with,
splits
yeah.
cost, yeah.
And I guess while I have you here too, I just want to check with this board. The Madison School Board had asked if we could film the SAU joint board meetings. They are not always here in Madison though, so I just want to make sure I have, my board approved it, but I just want to make sure there's no objection from the selectmen if we are traveling to another town, as long as we are filming the SAU joint board meeting.
Yeah, that has, I mean, that directly affects it's Madison business, so I don't
Yeah,
have an issue with it.
that's fair.
I just
don't
wanna
see an
check,
issue
and
with that, no.
I know at one meeting there was maybe, someone was gonna ask Primex if there was any issue with employees traveling outside of town. I don't know if there was any follow-up from that, but as long as the board has no problems.
Because it's official Madison
Right,
school business.
right, because
Yeah,
it's the SAU
business,
joint, yeah. Okay, I just wanna make sure that we're
yeah. Okay.
good to go on that.
thank you.
And I think that was all I had.
All right. Any other new business before we move on to old? Okay, volunteer use of DPW equipment. Jim's been working with Primex, a couple different folks at Primex to understand
So,
the
yeah.
requirements.
I did speak to our coverage person, which is Dave Bolduc. The town is covered under our policy for volunteers using town equipment. It took me a little bit to get a hold of the girl with the risk assessment. Her name is Nicole Armagadian. I know you know her. But I did talk to her on Friday. And my biggest concern was if there was any, like us DPW people need to be urine tested. I wanted to make sure if they were gonna operate equipment, we have to follow any guidelines. And she made it very clear that if they're only using town equipment, there's no urine test, they're covered. There's no license to operate equipment, she's very adamant about, so as far as we're considered, the town would be covered for volunteers using equipment on town property. For the ball field. I wanna make sure that's clear, or the beachers or anything like that, but town equipment on town property, we are 100% covered. With nothing else needed.
And just like we discussed, and they should check in with the DPW,
Correct,
yeah.
that
Just
everything's
make
in a
sure you-
workable state
when you
before they
do
go
it,
starting
just
it on a
check with the-
weekend.
right.
Yeah, check in.
To make sure the tractor's not
Half
broken or
taken
something,
apart or
because
something.
everybody on there would know, no volunteers would know.
Yeah, I could provide an update too. After the last Board of Selectmen meeting, I met with Dylan and the guys at the DPW, and I asked their opinion, what do you think about using the equipment? They don't have an issue with it. It's fine to maintain the ball field, which is great. Jim checked on the insurance. The only condition, I guess we can call it a condition, is just please, whether it's Steve or Jonathan, any of the other, rec guys, just check with Dylan or Dave Swift, and make sure, hey, can we use, the tractor, the backhoe on Saturday? And, because one issue did come up a few years ago with the Cat 920 loader. The transmission, fluid was low, or the hydraulic oil, there was a plug breather, so the machine was shut down until Milton Cat could come up and repair the machine. And that equipment was used with low fluid in the transmission. which potentially could have damaged the equipment and cost us a lot of repair money. Again, we're not looking for, a micromanaging process. Just, hey, Dylan, call him on Wednesday, go, hey, we want to work on the ball field on Saturday. Is that okay? Can I use this equipment? And we're fine, and again, my concern, I think most of the board, when it came up last meeting, was as long as Primex, the volunteers are covered in case the tractor rolls over on the hill, somebody gets hurt, a stone kicks out and hits somebody, that the town is covered with insurance and we can't be sued. And all of that has been addressed, so I think we're good to go here.
Well, we do need to create a volunteer form, and we had talked about that as well, that a volunteer form would specify the project being worked on.
Okay?
And I think we need, not just verbal permission of the DPW, but we need something, in writing as to what equipment is being used and by whom.
And when,
Yeah.
who, what, where, when, how,
Yeah.
okay. But,
Can I ask a question then?
no,
Have you created this form?
We have asked our new office assistant to find the form that is, we believe in a computer, a general form, and
So you're
use
not
that.
gonna sign anything tonight to get us a volunteer? Because we have T-ball with 34 kids enrolled playing this Saturday. We have men's league starting in mid-May. We have Cal Ripken using this and potentially Bulldogs using the upper field because we're gonna put in 90-foot bases. We're out of time, and we've been asking for this for months.
Well, is that a volunteer thing, or should the town employees, DPW, be doing it?
No, it's a volunteer thing. We gave you a form, a volunteer form.
That
We've
said
never
they
had
were
an
rec
issue.
department, which they're not.
They are. It is a rec department job.
The
This
ball field is
project
not a
was-
rec department job, and we only just found out about, I don't know how long ago, that non-employees were using the equipment.
No,
So
you've known. The point is.
You've known.
So did everybody else on the board. You knew too.
No,
That's not the point.
I didn't.
The point is, we are out of time, and it's continued to hinder the process by not signing the form. We need 2 fields. We have softball, we have track and field, we have men's league, we have Cal Ripken, we have Babe Ruth, we have Bulldogs, we have everybody. We're talking about bringing in the Legion team to play a game, we have teams that need this field. And we're just continuing to push this process down the line instead of just signing the current form we have for a volunteer, for a rec-directed project. I started this project as the chairman of the rec committee. It is a rec project, has been since day one. It wasn't a select board project. It wasn't a DPW project. It was a rec project, and that is a rec volunteer form. They are rec volunteers.
what do we need to put this to rest this week so we can move forward here? No, this is,
As we just discussed,
no,
we
but
need a
it's like the
form.
3rd meeting I've been to, and we haven't resolved the issue.
I know, it
And
would
I'm
have
not
been
trying
nice,
to-
no, it
please.
would have been nice to understand that it was being used, because don't tell me
Yeah.
that I knew when I didn't know. I didn't know for years that equipment was being used.
No, but I think we
So
all
it would have been nice
agree-
if we had that information
Well, it's
earlier
funny
so that we
'cause
could
I said
have.
it in a public meeting that Stephen and Jonathan were gonna come help me fix the field, so. it's
Okay, so
pretty-
let's get past that.
Yeah, let's get
What do
past
we
that. What do
now?
we need to do to get
That's
this
my point.
underway?
We need to sign the rec volunteer
Just sign the rec
forms.
form and
Okay.
they're
How-
covered, and if
can I
you
ma-
wanna create a new form going forward, then create one.
Can I just make a
But stop
motion?
hindering the process and let us do our job.
If we have I think I saw the rec form at home, at the office. If we have it, can we just add a line maybe for the DPW to sign on, and that should satisfy all the requirements?
that a
so
solution?
Yes.
They sign, and I make another second motion to sign it out of session, so we could do it in either tomorrow or
All
tonight.
right, so we'll,
Let's put this to rest here.
Yeah.
yep, so we'll add what project it's for. We'll add, an
DPW lines
line
in
for the, DPW to say what equipment, or for it to say what equipment was signed out when.
Yeah,
No, that's fine. That's,
Okay.
works for me.
and Dylan and his crew have concurred. We're good to go here.
Were you trying to use it this weekend?
Yeah,
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I don't know what your
haven't reached out
schedule
to
is, yeah.
anybody
Okay.
Because I haven't,
But that would be the earliest you'd want it, would be this weekend. So we can make a
Make a motion to sign out of
that.
session.
sign out of session so that they can start the repair work on the fields as soon as
Well-
possible.
Nicole, I'll second Nicole's motion to sign it out of session.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And I'm fine with just Jake signing it, actually, once we have the information
our
that we
rec-
just discussed on the form.
Rec committee rep, yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine, Jake, if you want to take
Yeah.
it.
That works for me.
Thank you. All right, selectmen's lists. Nicole, we'll start down the end with you.
Now I'm confused.
Did you have anything on your list?
Did I? Yes, I did, but, go start at the other end.
Yeah.
It'll come to me. There was one thing.
Go ahead, Jake.
I go. All right. So I have a couple things, and it's internally really. One thing us as a board needs to get better at is communication. When I walked in today, Michael Brooks says to me, I had no idea someone was starting on Monday as a temporary position. And I apologize because I'm going to take at least 1/5 of that blame. When we make decisions as a board, we need to notify people who are affected by those decisions. And this isn't the first time I feel like this has happened. I've been pulled aside a couple different times saying, we didn't know this was happening. So as a board, we need to be more deliberate at making sure everyone has the information. I said, I'm owning this as much as everyone up here, but it's something we have to do and have to get better at, because when we make decisions that affect their day-to-day, they need to be abreast to those decisions. Also, as a point of order for this board, if someone has an idea or a solution to a problem, it needs to go to the board. It does not need to be shot down via text message or cell phone conversation. Everybody needs to be able to have a say in that decision or whatever. Whether it's Joe going to work with Mad TV, which I'm fine with, or when we have an option to have a previous administrator help us get payroll done, and the conversation was had, and then all of a sudden the decision was no.
Yeah.
We can't have one person making the decision. This is not a solo expedition. This is a 5-member board.
What decision are you talking about?
When Kate had offered to come in on Monday to help just sit there, not touch anything, but walk Heidi through the payroll to make sure it happened, and to make sure it was done with someone who had already had a background check. Not that that is illegal, but I think it's poor practice to have someone doing payroll and finances in the town who hasn't passed a criminal background check. That's my opinion, and maybe I'm on my own here.
Nope, the process is, as in the offer letters to the 2 people who were starting as regular employees, that they will undergo background checks within a certain time frame of having started.
Absolutely, but I don't feel it's best practice to have someone who has not passed a background check in our finances. Call me crazy, and I'm not saying that anyone we're going to hire is a criminal, but we're opening ourselves up to liability. That seems to be a big issue. Opening ourselves to liability, we don't want to do that. So when we had the option, and it was brought to us individually, because we can't do it without having a meeting, and then it was brought up to you, you said, no, Joe, we need to rein this in. That is unacceptable. That is not a board decision. That is a single board member acting on their own.
Let me explain what actually happened. It sounds like at the end of Kate had said April 9th would be her last day. We were not meeting before that. So my decision was to not change anything. When my decision was, it wasn't even my decision, it was, we can't change anything without the board.
But it was never brought to the board. It was never, we could have had a meeting. We could have posted a meeting and done it on Monday. These things could have happened. My point is, it is, the decisions we make need to be board decisions.
All 5.
All 5 of us. And I'm not trying to drive a wedge or create a rift. I'm just saying that our process needs to be, if there is a decision being made, it needs to be with 5 board members making a decision. That's all I'm saying. And it goes for every one of us. If we have an idea, if someone wants to do something and one person should not be saying no or yes. It needs to be brought to the board in a meeting, in a public, in a private, wherever the setting needs to be, and we need to make that decision. Because otherwise, we're not operating as a board, we're operating as a solo individual, and that is not what we're here to do.
We can't.
Right, and we can't. Also, point of order, when emails are sent out, BCCing doesn't work if it's not from a third party.
That's not what our attorney told us.
That would constitute, in my understanding, if we If the board, a board member sends an email out, even BCC'd, it's communication to the board from a board member. Not from a third party who, whoever, because it used to be, say Linda got an email, she BCC'd it out to us. We all got it. We weren't in communication with one another. We were in communication with Linda.
Like the point person.
Right, with a point person, not part of the board. So we were all separate. When it comes from the board, whether it's from me or whomever, that becomes dangerously close, if not already violating 91A.
No, we received guidance from the town attorney that BCC, especially if it is prefaced with FYI, that is acceptable in order to communicate with the board as you have just said.
It's funny, because I had a conversation, and maybe it's different, but I had a conversation with our attorney about rec communication. And he said, nothing outside of a public meeting. You cannot communicate via email to everyone, and you cannot do text messages and which is fine. But my understanding was, if it doesn't come from a point person who is not part of the board, it's dangerously close, if not a 91A violation. And I don't want that to happen. Again, I'm not saying, this is all very new territory for all of us, because we are trying to find our own butts here, because we're upside down. And I just want to make sure that what we're doing is on the up and up, and we're not setting ourselves up for potential issues down the road. That's all it is.
Right, which is why I verified,
Okay.
I believe we
All right.
possibly either all in on the email or all in on the conversation. That a BCC, especially prefaced with FYI, is an acceptable way to disseminate information, even from within a member of the board.
Okay? I was not privy to that email. Which, again, I may have. I didn't see it, but I just want to make sure what we're doing is appropriate. Because, and I know what I think a lot of people forget is that we're just people, right. I mean, that's the old adage, anyone can do this, but there's a lot of nuances to it, and I want to make sure we're not stepping on our own toes, making it muddier for all of us. That's all. That is all.
Jim?
Are we doing the CIP tonight?
Not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
There's not a whole lot on the agenda.
Yeah, that part didn't get posted either on our agenda.
Sorry.
It got missed somehow.
I'm loving it.
Again,
Well, I didn't
My favorite agenda ever.
yesterday?
All right, let us finish the selectmen's list, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Jim?
good, I'm good.
Okay.
I have a couple brief things. Is Bob Boyd here tonight? I didn't see him.
He's back there.
Oh, okay. Hey, sorry. Bob's way in the back. I serve on Bob's committee it's the Risk Mitigation Committee. I call it the Safety Committee.
Joint loss
Joint
committee.
Loss Committee, sorry. And we had the water tested down at the lower barn, the repair barn. The water in there is horrible. Summit View Water came in, and they tested the water. The test results came back, and we failed. The water is unsafe for our employees to even wash their hands or face in. And the bathroom, if you go in there, I went and looked at it. I met with the guys. The toilets are red, the sinks are red. As you know, we all have a lot of iron in our well water here. That's common, right? Just whether you have an artesian well or a shallow well. But what worries me on this test report is we have coliform bacteria present, which means there's septic, there's sewage leaking into the water. The pH is 6.06, which is a little bit acidic, but that's common here again with all the pine trees and that type of thing. The iron is at 27.4, and the standard is 0.3, so we failed that standard. Manganese is at 3.27. Again, the standard is 0.05 milligrams per liter. This is a health and safety issue we need to address. I don't think it's right that our employees can't even use the bathroom or the sink to wash their hands, now that we know the water is contaminated. But there is a solution, and Dylan and Dave Swift went out. They're proposing, it's a UV ultraviolet light system to eradicate the bacteria. That's standard treatment for well water. And they'll put in a sediment filter and a water softener type treatment, probably chlorine injection, to lower the iron and manganese contamination. I don't, Dylan, have we seen a price for that system? I have the report here, but I don't see a cost for the system.
You can click this green button right here, Joe. It says view quote.
It says view quote, I know, that's what I tried, it didn't work.
Doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah,
No internet.
yeah.
No internet.
No internet on our report, but, you know, my estimate on a system like this is probably $8,000 to $10,000. Because, you know, it's a multi-stage system, especially with the bacterial contamination. Again, now that we know that we have an issue, I believe it's something we need to address. So, I'm not sure how to proceed.
Well, I think Dave bumped into me, or I bumped into Dave in the parking lot, and he mentioned this, and I think he quoted between 5 and 7.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think they're
all
that
right.
much. I put one in.
Yeah,
You-
so
did you-
I
okay.
did put one in.
Is that what
It
they-
was
that's
under
the price
5.
range?
It was under 5 when I put it in.
all right.
and I think that's fully within the purchasing policy for the DPW to take care of it.
No, I think we should give the DPW, you know, approval to proceed.
I don't
You know,
think they
get
need
Get
it.
the price quote.
I don't think they need it.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Drink that, drink that water.
I believe per the policy, I mean, we can check
after
it,
they fix it.
but I believe they don't require.
But,
Don't do it
I mean,
now.
Summit View Water, they're a known expert in, you know, well water treatment.
Make it so you can drink.
And this gentleman, I forget his name who came out, David, I guess, came out, checked the water, and he proposed this filter system. And again, it will go inside the building, so we won't have to worry about it freezing in the winter. That was my concern. And we may have to upgrade the Weltro tank, you know, the pressure tank with the pump there. It's like a 2-gallon small one that just sits on top of the pump right now. Probably have to put a 10, 15 gallon in there. But it's something we need to do. And Dave Swift also recommended, it's basically a home vanity sink, you know, a little bathroom sink in there, to put in one of those plastic tubs you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, like a utility sink, you know, so you can wash your hands, and, you know, that type of thing. But that's something, you know, this came out of Bob Boyd's committee meeting, and it's something we need to follow up on.
Yeah, well, I think the DPW has full reign to do exactly that. Right?
Donna?
Are there plans to find out where the fecal matter is coming from?
I'm not sure, it's coliform, it can come, it's a shallow point well, so if there's any runoff, you know, and it's all sand, right, it will drain down. And, I mean, I test my own well water, you know, every year for bacteria, I mean, that's just a good practice.
But that could also be like an animal or.
Or animal
or
runoff,
something.
animal
So,
waste or something,
I
yeah.
believe in that situation, we would also shock a well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but,
So rather than just always try to filter out
no,
the
Summit is,
bacteria, kill it
put
in
in
the first place.
the ultraviolet actually kills the bacteria.
Right, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be a failed septic system, too.
I'm not sure what's over there, I assume there is a septic there for the building.
Try to find out where it's
Yeah.
coming from.
No, but it's something, you know, we need to work on, you know, because it is a health and safety issue. So if we can allow Dylan and the guys to move forward and.
They don't
try
need
to-
our permission.
Okay,
They could
just,
I
I wanna
believe-
make sure, I'm
I believe
the
the
new
policy
guy.
allows them to do it.
Okay, I'm the
Yep.
new guy, I just wanna ask.
Yep.
One more thing, related to actually the ball field, Dylan gave me, it's a renewal of our Village Green contract they come in and they fertilize, it's a 4-step fertilization program, you know, spring, summer, fall, then they put lime down and grub control on all the ball fields. And they've been using this service for, 2 years now, the past 2 years? And we did get a price quote in from them back in February or something, but we still need to take action.
I feel like we signed it. Does that sound
That's what
familiar?
I'm not sure if we
didn't
did
sign
or
it?
not.
Okay.
The cost per treatment is $1,081.50. The total seasonal cost is $6,056.50. But they want to do the first service, I guess, middle of May or so, Dylan? If we can take care of that.
That won't interrupt any games. right?
Any,
They
no,
can play on it.
the
and
rec
that.
committee, is that how you guys want to proceed with this?
Okay.
Jake, is that?
Yeah,
Is
no,
that fair?
that's how it was done previous years.
Does it require a contract, or it's,
I don't know, they
We
sent us
just have
a
to sign off
quote,
on the
a
quote, I
contract,
believe, and
They
we
sent
have
us
the
one.
option to pay up front, and it's
Reduced.
slightly less.
Save a couple $100 or
Right.
something, yeah. Okay, and last but not least, last Tuesday, or it was actually Monday, I got a call from Congressman Pappas's office regarding funding of the dam. And so we scrambled. Congressman Pappas's aide, Victoria, goes, "What are you doing tomorrow afternoon?" I said, "We're here." He goes, "Well, Chris wants to come take a look at the dam and look at, the funding for this." So we all got together. Jake had to work. But one question did come up. I did post the meeting. I did go around to the post offices and the town hall. It was posted. Somebody asked me the other day, going, "Did you post the meeting?" I said, "Yeah, we did."
Well,
But we did.
Technically, we didn't, we posted a non-meeting, which is only for legal advice or talking with your lawyer, so.
A non-meeting is strictly under RSA where the public is not
Oh,
welcome. So anybody that
that's
saw
me.
it probably didn't think they were welcome.
Oh, I thought that was how the, that ball field meeting with the ball field vendor was
Okay, but-
posted as a non-meeting, so it's
No,
just.
it was a public meeting, it was just posted before our meeting
I did
time.
attempt to post it, so, again, I'm the new guy, right? I'm trying to follow the process here. But let's move on to the fact that the meeting went really well. It was snowing out. It was cold and snowing. We made the cut. Congressman Pappas funds, he's allowed to send 20 proposals forward to, it's called the House Appropriations Committee, to Big Washington. And it will get lumped in, they review it, it will get lumped into the 2027 federal budget. And his aide, Colin, is fully behind it, the congressman's fully behind it. So we made that cut. Again, there's no guarantee we're gonna get a $1.25 million check next spring.
Well, he did change it.
He,
I didn't
he,
even-
you know, he did
Sorry,
say
yes.
we may get less, and I'm like, I'm happy with whatever we get, right? But again, they liked our proposal, it was well-written, gave them all the information, and we did make that cut, so we are into the follow-on cycle for the dam
It
fund.
also changed, it's not a matching fund
Yeah.
grant anymore.
Yeah, this is, I'm back in DC mode here, so. Originally, I applied for the grant of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. It's a rural improvement fund. And Congressman Pappas said, no, we're going under transportation and HUD or something, where it's 100% federal money. Madison taxpayers do not have to co-pay, a cost share, which is, I'm like,
Unless it costs more.
yeah.
Unless he has-
Yeah, unless it costs more than 1.25 million. But it's like, wow, that's amazing.
Beautiful.
So hopefully that will go through. Again, we won't know till the next federal budget is passed. But I consider that's a big win for the home team to have congressional support behind our dam. I think that's it.
Okay.
That was quite a bit.
That was a bit. That was
Okay.
all good. Thank you. I don't have anything on my list tonight. I believe the planning board is here. Some information didn't get transferred over in recent transitions, so welcome. Oh, Nicole, did you have anything for a list or no? Okay.
She's
All right.
done it out.
Remember?
She said she quit.
No.
For the night.
Was it posted as a?
No quitter.
I believe it was posted by the planning board, but not by the BOS. We didn't get that information.
I don't know.
So,
That's,
yes, Ms. Gagnon,
So at
come
our
up,
last-
speak up.
Can you,
At our last planning board meeting, you said this would be our joint meeting.
Right, it was decided, the joint meeting was decided in February, I believe, was the day. And yes, and I
I
did,
assume this is gonna be a little bit, and I'm sorry, Tia, can I just ask a question so that I don't have to sit through the whole thing? Because we have a rec thing that we need to
Oh,
go
okay.
through, and I have kids at home. We need porta potties at the field.
Okay,
Linda would have normally just done it,
okay.
it's not done, because Linda's not here. So can somebody at the town hall?
how do we,
just gonna call
How do we order
Garland
these?
or
I'm not
whoever.
sure.
Is it United?
United.
Okay,
We need 2 porta potties at the field by Saturday.
one of which needs to be handicap accessible.
and what about porta potties for the beach? I know Memorial Beach, at Nichols Beach, we usually put them there as well.
They usually
Is it
do
the
All the
same?
beaches.
Memorial Day.
United will know every.
Is it United? That's who we deal with? Okay.
But they,
I got that.
the ones at the beach probably don't go till Memorial Day, the ones at the
Okay.
field, we need by Saturday.
Because we have things.
How,
They're
are you gonna
33,
call them then?
4 and
or
5-year-olds.
What's our plan to get this lined up?
Sorry, Thea.
It's New Hampshire.
I mean, I am leaving on Thursday, so,
I could call him tomorrow. I could.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now that you brought up the subject of porta potties, I would ask the selectmen to entertain, maybe possibly putting back a porta potty in, at Kennett Park. I personally, there always used to be a porta potty there, and 3 years ago, the selectmen decided not to put one there because they thought that people could just walk to Monument Park. Well, I can assure you, people are not walking to Monument Park, and I have personally cleaned up fecal matter and tissue paper
Oh, jeez.
from Kennett Park. So I think it's a problem, and I would like you to think about maybe putting back a porta potty at Kennett Park.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Nicole, you took the action item?
I got it, his action.
Yeah, can you call them, get
Yep.
prices, and get
There's two
things
at the
rolling,
front.
or whatever? Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it's at 7.
rolling literally,
for it.
I guess.
All right, yeah, so
All right.
why I was asking about the CIP tonight during your thing, because you're our planning board rep.
I am.
So at the last meeting, you said we would have a joint meeting to
Yes.
approve it.
That was the plan, and I
But we didn't get
apologize
an
for things
agenda.
getting shuffled, but let's go ahead and, are we okay with, we had requested in February that we had a joint meeting to approve this. It was brought up, I believe, at our last meeting, and then I went, but since then, obviously, things have gone a little sideways, but are we okay with doing this now, since they're here?
Yeah.
We
we have
don't
a
have
copy
a
of it?
quorum for
Oh.
planning board. But we could do it during our meeting. If that's okay with you. But we would be
took it out.
fine if you want to approve it. And you have had access to it and
Yes.
have already used it, so.
Yep.
As long as it's okay with you, if we do it on our own time, and they can do it now.
I think the only change that came up was when Jim and I met with the department heads and modified some of the purchasing policy.
Okay.
And we looked at the CIP then, and, you, Sharon, and I, as the CIP committee, had thought, we're going on previous, that basically 5,000, I think, was kind of the common threshold for getting on the CIP.
Yeah.
But talking with the department heads about the purchasing policy and looking at the cheapest item on the CIP, it was like $15,000. So we thought maybe 10,000 was a bit more of a realistic threshold to invoke the CIP. So that was just the only change that we had, and I don't know if that would go back to the CIP committee for you, Sharon and I, to discuss at the next meeting.
Yeah, I feel like the report as it is, it's really just your seal of approval, that we handed it in and here it is. It's your tool to use during budgeting season. And we have our first meeting Thursday for the CIP. So we can make any adjustments, and that would be something that we would move forward with on the next round. So
I
we could
would,
do
I would
that.
approve it with that modification that, something $10,000 and up. And then I think the definition, or something that requires replacement after a certain amount of time. So, but just that dollar amount threshold gets changed to 10 would be, I'd approve it with that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Do you want that edited in this plan? Or keep this one as is and then?
No, yeah, no, we'll approve it, we'll make the motion now to approve it as amended, and then
Okay.
as the CIP committee makes that amendment, it's good.
I'll make it- Okay.
And then bring it to that, bring it to the planning board as is.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you, Tia. All right, department heads. Who's closest? Dylan, I see your hat back
Dylan's
there.
here.
He's trying to duck.
Dylan's ducking in the back.
Too tall to duck, kid.
They're hiding view.
Dylan, do you want to come up? Oh, we appreciate your taking one for the team.
I don't have much. The quarterly report was completed, submitted for the truck grant for the new truck. So that's, the quarterly report for the truck grant was submitted, so that it's all set, it's moving forward for the new truck. Road paving bids have gone out, and chip sealing and crack sealing bids have gone out. As of Friday, the road bans were lifted, so you can get your deliveries. And thanks to Danita, we have taken care of all the first aid kits in the buildings.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you, Anita.
AED's been ordered?
Oh, yeah.
That's coming.
Okay.
Oh, Chief Brooks is gonna address that. All right.
When is, oh man, what did you just talk about?
80s.
No, before that. Oh, when are the requests for proposals due in to you?
You guys voted on May 11th.
May 11th, thank you.
Yeah.
First order I have is an update on the PFAS issues. If you could just, I've got 6, so if you could just take one and pass them down. Just hit the wave tops. I gave you a pretty in-depth summary last meeting, and not much has changed other than in the first section on the focus site investigation, the testing coming up this spring, fall, et cetera, is relatively nailed down, subject to approval of DES. So the first thing coming up in the week of May 4th, Wilcox and Barton will have folks here to mark the boring locations where they're going to I don't know what you call it, extract soil samples. There's going to be 6 locations, 3 in front of the fire department and 3 around the area of the leaching field underneath the driveway going up to Town Hall. Again, the focus there is on the soil and the depth and breadth of the contamination. I apologize. I'm working on 45 minutes sleep in the last 48, so. They have, all this detail came from the supplemental report that Wilcox and Barton is submitting on behalf of the town to DES for approval. Their assumption is they've done enough work with the department that it's going to be approved, but they expect to have that approved very shortly so that these dates that they've given us will be accurate. So having marked the sites on May 4th, on soil samples, the borings are scheduled for May 12th, and the well water sampling is scheduled for the next day, May 13th. And they anticipate results of all of those testing, soil and water, within 45 days of that 2-day period, which puts us into the they said the middle of June, but it's actually going to be July at 45 days. Maybe they anticipate getting them sooner. They plan to have their report prepared by the end of June to submit to the DES by the 25th. And the fall water sampling is tentatively scheduled for October. And I did send, I got some public commentary. The memo that I produced for the board 2 weeks ago, I did send out to every property owner that we currently know is affected. I've only received one reply, which was a positive one. They appreciated receiving the information, and it's one of the ones that hasn't yet been tested but is going to. And I convinced them that at no cost to them, it was in their best interest to allow them in to test the water and find out if they have a problem. Hopefully they don't, but if they do, then we need to know about it.
Thank you.
So no changes on the remediation grant piece. I haven't heard anything back, but I also haven't received any more questions back. So it's going through whatever approval process they have at DES. The point of entry treatment systems, I did within a few days of your last meeting. I got the draft document approved by both the folks at Wilcox and Barton and the folks at New Hampshire DES. And DES provided me with a list of about 72 contractors, and Wilcox and Barton helped me narrow that down to 9. And I've listed it on this document, 9 companies that have been, DES is familiar with them, and Wilcox and Barton is familiar with some of them. I tried to pick the ones out of that 72 that were closest geographically to Madison. And you will obviously notice one from Derry and one from Manchester. Those were specifically suggested by the folks at Wilcox and Barton. So what the heck, we'll get proposals from hopefully 9 back, and
That's great.
those will also be coming in. My date is May 4th, but your next meeting would be May 12th. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of RFPs at that meeting.
Yep.
And then at the end of the document, it just kind of gave you a chronology of, I have heard back from 4 of the companies. I sent the physical paper copies, but I also emailed because the DES list provided an email, so I emailed it also. Next I have is, in no particular order, on the town clerk side, memorandum with respect to the departure of our town treasurer, and just specifically with respect to my office, your guys' job it's definitely hard enough, and with so many variables that you have to solve all relatively together, that I can't imagine. But I have 3 accounts basically associated with work that happens in my office. There is a tax credit card account, which pretty much handles credit card payments through the online kiosk. Those electronic funds are cleared by Invoice Cloud, and they end up in this tax credit card account. The next is the town clerk state account. That's basically where any over-the-counter motor vehicle transactions, anything with state funds commingled with town funds in a transaction, go into that account. And then the third is a town credit card account. That deals with the motor vehicle side, clerk side, any transactions for which we accept credit card payment through the kiosk again, go into that account. So motor vehicle is segregated from tax always, and the state funds, that is the one account that I touch every day. And I have to transfer the funds generated the previous business day that are due to the state, and I transfer them electronically through the provisions of our banking institution, currently Camden National. It's their platform. They help us set up the transactions, the template. We plug in the amount going to the state and click send, and it happens. We print a receipt, all the paperwork goes to the treasurer for verification, and we're audited by the DMV. Anyway, I'm talking entirely too much about details. The bottom line is, whatever happens, something has to happen with this board and our banking institution in the absence of a treasurer, and I know you all know that, but personally to me, I need to make sure, if we can, short-term and going forward, if anything can be done to prohibit the interruption of the way that we conduct business in my office, it would be immensely helpful. Because the only alternative I would have if I couldn't do the electronic transfers, I would need this board to grant me authority. Right now I don't have signatory authority, so the bank won't technically talk to me. I have online access because it was granted by the treasurer. So going forward, I request signatory access on only these 3 accounts so that the bank can talk to me about them. And in the event that the online stuff failed for any reason whatsoever, my only other alternative would be to go in and make a withdrawal physically from our Camden National Bank account and then drive uptown to deposit in the state's TD Bank account, which I have both of those account numbers for the electronic purposes, but that's the only workaround I have if the online fails. But right now I can't execute that because I don't have the requisite permissions. So anyway, that's what that second memo is all about.
So I spoke with Jordan, and she did not disable her overall admin account access so as not to interrupt your business.
Right.
And we've been trying to get in touch with our contact at Camden because he wasn't in today. So we're looking to get Tammy elevated to the admin as she is our deputy treasurer until we have a permanent treasurer. So we're going to work with him tomorrow to get all that straightened out, and Jordan was kind enough not to.
I appreciate it very much. Rome was not built in a day. This is my only forum to
Yeah.
make you aware.
Is there,
thank you.
is there, when you go on the online thing, I know I have this, just in case, bank-to-bank transfer button? I have it on my account, so, at Camden.
Well, I think it's probably different because you have authority over your
Oh,
account.
okay.
I only have
Yeah,
transfer.
I understand, I just was like, if you can get online.
I
was
have
just
very
thinking-
limited, they've set up, I click a button that says I want to make a commercial, it's under a commercial payment tab, but then the state DMV is my only payee, and I just change the amount every day, and anyway, I'm happy to learn something new, but
Yeah.
right now, I just don't think it works. If we can keep it working just the way it is, I hate
Yeah.
change, so. The next thing I have is something that just, because it looked like a bill, nobody did anything with it. But we get proposals from the generator connection, who does all of our maintenance activity on all of the municipal generators that we have. And I'm just asking permission if I can respond back to this. They submitted a proposal, and we talked about it and we budgeted for it. $2,300 worth of work. And I apologize, I don't have my glasses, I can't see which generator this is specifically, but it's one of the town's generators for sure, or they wouldn't have sent it to us. I'm just asking permission if I can just reach out to this person and say, yes, we're going forward with this work. They'll come up and do the work, and then they'll send us the bill, but
Yep.
right now, it's not even scheduled because nobody replied to this.
Yeah,
Michael, we have a maintenance contract with them anyway, right, for all the town
Right,
generators?
right, but for each thing that they find, they'll send us a proposal for how much it costs
Okay.
to make sure that we approve the expenditure before they come up and do the work. And the last thing I have is what you last talked about. I took the liberty of filling out the form that you provided, Joe, on the AEDs and the discussion you had with the DPW and at the joint loss meeting. So I prepared a purchase requisition to come from the fire department's new equipment, because we own all of the AEDs in town. Not a lot of people know that, but we do. And it kind of makes sense because I maintain all the pads and everything like that, so.
Do you have enough funding in your account to cover the AEDs?
I absolutely do. It's
Okay.
right here on the form, so, and I apologize, but
Yeah,
if
and that's-
that could go in signature items, I'll just get it with
Okay.
your approval. I'll submit that form
Yeah,
to
that's,
That's the fold.
the company in Maryland. and
That's
the-
a state contract in
the
Hampshire.
state contract funding that
yeah.
expires June 30th.
Yeah.
so. And it's $1,647 a unit, which is really not too, it's a lot of money, but when you say one person's life, it's not that much money.
Right.
No, it's
we're-
cheap insurance.
And we're talking about putting them in one in each DPW garage facility and one in the building at the transfer station, so. The DPW, of course, we're taking care of our own employees, anything can happen, they lift heavy things but at the transfer station, it would be important, and part of the new program is they're all electronically geolocated through the state system by participating in it's really good fun. It's expensive, everything's expensive, but that's a really decent price. If you went out to buy one on your own, you're gonna spend closer to $3,000. So, but by getting that good pricing, we have to promise to tell them where they are. So it's gonna be, you could look it up on the internet. Once we get them and get them installed, you can go on the state's website and it'll tell you there's a new AED at the Madison DPW garage. So for folks at the transfer station, it's important to know that it's there. If you're up there and you witness something happen,
I know.
pop the cover off those things, there's pictures, tells you where to stick the pads. All you have to do is press the on button, let the thing analyze, and if you know CPR, great, get right on the chest and just listen to that machine. It'll tell you when to stop, it'll analyze, it'll tell you to push that shock button they're a really great tool. Our police department has used them at least on 3 different occasions and had success all 3 times. using the AD, they do work, and so.
Chief, one last question on the AEDs. Can you arrange for one of the EMTs or a qualified CPR AED instructor to conduct a, several-hour training session, just so we can be familiar with the new equipment?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and what I'd like to do is get a certified CPR instructor, and all of the folks that I have, we have CPR cards, we all know how to do it. That doesn't mean we're certified to teach other people how to do it.
No, but the DPW guys. and
I
stuff
want
like
to
that.
bring in a certified instructor, and I'd like to open it up to anybody in the school community. I know they always try to do their own, but if we could put one on right in this building, and we could maximize the amount of people that we get CPR trained and certified, it's best for the town.
No, thank you,
So
that's a great idea.
I'd like
Yeah.
to, if anybody in those populations has some dates and times that they think might work, maybe, I was thinking during Old Home Week might be a good time.
Or Saturday morning, we come
Maybe
in
we
here.
could
Yeah.
co-do, get the Red Cross in here and do a blood drive the same day, that would be cool.
Yeah, Kim Cromie did it for the rec volunteers.
Right, and she was,
It was about 2
she
years.
was a
She was
certified
certified, so she was
instructor.
able to, yep.
So, and I do know we have some action ambulance, I have contacts with certified instructors, so.
Actually, since Kim was the school nurse and she got certified, I wonder if our new school nurse, Sarah Rodriguez, is certified. Worth asking.
Certainly worth asking, I don't personally know.
Okay, thank you.
Canada school nurses, because that's who taught me.
Yep, should be.
I learned how to
The
shop.
lady here has a question.
Would the general public be able to also take that course? Because I've had CPR many, many years.
Absolutely. It would be, in my opinion, it'd be open to everybody.
Thank you.
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think the more people that are knowledgeable and trained, it benefits the whole town. If something like Michael said happens at the transfer station, when we witness it, at least we'd be able to take action. Yep.
All right.
Not done yet.
Oh, that's all right.
And no, and God bless Becky, she just kept peppering me all day, well, ask about this, ask about that, and I wrote them all down, and I promised her that I would, so.
And she probably texted you as soon as you sat down.
No, she didn't, I have it, I literally have it written on a list, I just didn't. First and foremost, had a gentleman, Nicole spoke with him today, he came into town hall. Staff Sergeant Andy Morgan, he's with the New Hampshire Army Aviation Unit. He is working, his helicopter unit is working with the Mount Washington Valley Swiftwater Rescue Team, and they have a training event scheduled for Saturday, June 6th. And they have requested permission to utilize Burke Field as a landing zone. They want to do some hot and cold load drills, which means basically loading when the rotor's spinning and loading when it isn't, et cetera. And they're practicing different things with what kind of gear they can transport based on what the Swiftwater Rescue Team has and what the bird can handle as far as personnel and equipment. That's why they're doing the training. In any event, I told the gentleman that I didn't believe the board would have any problem with it, but they would be the approving authority. It's Saturday, June 6th, and I don't know anything about baseball schedules yet. I have a few things that people have given me, so.
Baseball's normally, at least Cal Ripken is not played on the weekends.
Right.
No, the
Which,
only thing on Saturday would be T-ball from 10 to 11:30.
right, and
You're not gonna get
who
one of
wouldn't
those
want,
kids
who
paying
wouldn't
attention
want
to
to
baseball.
stop at 8? They'd probably come early at 8:30 to see
Hanging on to the fence, watching.
see a Blackhawk land.
The kids would think that would be pretty cool, I would think, yeah.
But they're gonna do some training on the ground for a few hours in the morning, and then they're gonna take off, and they're gonna, what he said, it sounded funny the way he said it, but expend the rest of his fuel they're gonna do some live drills on Cook Pond, they said. Which we don't need to grant permission for that, but if the board's okay, I'll call him. I told him that I would call him back.
That sounds pretty cool.
Fine by me.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Won't cause any damage to the ball field, right?
No, we've landed on and I did tell him, and he knew because a couple years at Old Home Week, we had a National Guard medevac helicopter land, so he was aware of that, but he was also aware that they landed up there, and I said that upper field may not be possible depending on when we get this work done, and so either way, there's plenty of space. They can
Pick one.
they can land on a much smaller surface than what we're providing. So one or the other ball field is where he's gonna land, depending on what's going on. And of course, weather, they may end up having to abort and go elsewhere. We've gotten personnel changes you've covered, but it would amaze you the amount of the breadth of calls that come into the clerk's office. Not the least of which is 3 times today from boat storage facilities that offer the service of launching customers' boats for them. So they need access to the Silver Lake Boat Launch to launch for a customer that lives on Silver Lake. So I don't need your answer tonight, but somehow somebody has to provide us with how do we respond to that phone call? What is the procedure that we're gonna follow?
Are they requesting boat launch stickers?
Well, they're requesting authorization from the town of Madison to conduct the activity. The question is, how do you do it? Do we put, I don't know. I don't know.
How do we do it?
The office assistant had received some instruction
Okay.
on the boat, a little bit of instruction on the boat launch process. I don't know if it covers exactly what you're asking.
Well, then I'll next time I'll go liaison with her and find out what guidance she got so that we can both have the same guidance. And
So what I'm hearing, Mike, is that they're gonna launch it and it's gonna go get parked at somebody's dock that lives on the lake.
that's how I
Yeah,
understand
so
it.
as long as we verify that they're a resident, that should be good enough. Because it's
But-
probably never gonna get launched, it can be there all summer, it's not gonna,
Right, but for everybody else, we require
no, I
a
know,
launch
but,
sticker with
but
their,
I'm just concerned if they already put their sticker on their boat and they can't get it to the town hall or something, I don't know. As long as there's the stickers on it,
It's the stickers
As long
on
as
the,
the
on the
owner
vehicle.
has a sticker on their boat.
yeah,
Right.
I don't see
stickers
an
on their
issue,
boat.
yeah.
There's
well, I
no
think
issue.
that's the,
Yeah, we'll figure it
we
out.
need to figure out that
Yeah.
procedure. And it sounds like you're already working on get a bunch of questions, because people are, weather's coming good, they want to do building permits and have planning, zoning, and assessing questions, like where do we send them? In the interim, we're just on hold if I'm,
Just not for very long, I think we'll talk about it again.
No, the office assistant is basically logging questions.
Yeah.
okay. And deadlines are coming up for certain credits and exemptions. We had a veteran come in today with a deadline of April 15th. And who's getting those forms?
Are those the ones that go to Chad for approval? And then he lets us know whether, he advises us whether or not to approve
I
them?
honestly don't know, but I would assume that would be,
Usually.
okay. So we'll just do, we must have a folder somewhere for Chad. Okay. And,
Leave this in the top drawer.
oh, the approval of the generator, that's it.
There you go.
Already did that.
Okay. Any other department heads hiding back there? Oh, hey, chief.
I can answer Mike's.
Look how small his list is, I love it.
I can answer Mike's question about the boat launch permits. Those guys launch boats all day long, and if we drive through there, we'll usually stop and make sure they have a launch permit. If they don't, I mean, we just tell them to tell the owner to go get one. When we first had the boat, Bob King drove around the lake that first couple weeks and generated several $1,000s in permit fees that people hadn't, paid for. So I'll try to do the same thing. No one's going to be down there babysitting the ramp, but we'll just encourage those marinas to have people get the sticker. They can put it on the boat when it's back at their dock. So however it gets on there is fine with me. We've been very busy. Mike is tired because they were out at an accident scene for about 8 hours sitting on Conway Road with a broken pole. We've had 3 accidents in the last month with, if you looked at the car, you'd imagine that the person was either dead or severely injured. And they were all juveniles and seemingly fine. There were some minor injuries. At any rate, I feel like we hammer this town fairly hard, at least I do. We're gonna start probably being a little bit more aggressive. With that, I've got the new radar in the new Tahoe, so it's pretty sweet. It's all wireless. It's high speed, low drag. I almost have the pole sign set. This thing is way more complicated than you think. You need approval from DOT, Eversource, and you can't just put it on a pole. It has to be on an actual speed limit sign. So I'm working with DOT actively to get that out, primarily on Route 41, Plains Road, along the lakeside. We may have to put in more speed limit signs to accommodate it, because I don't want it at the extreme ends of that area. So at any rate, we're working on that. I obtained a grant from the U.S. Deputy Sheriff's Association for spike strips. You wouldn't think we need spike strips in this town. We've had a couple opportunities lately where we could have used them. So we'll have those here probably within a week or so.
That wasn't my wife, was it?
I won't say. I've got, and I mentioned this before in another meeting, not rebranding the cruisers at all, but we have 4 different cars with different decals on all of them, for the most part. I've got 2 sets of new decals to put on the 2 Tahoes. They'll have the vinyl wraps with the flag. They're starting to peel, they're bubbling, so I think in the next few weeks we'll have those on there, now that there's no salt on the road or anything like that, to affect how they go on. Drug take back is April 25th from 10 to 2. It's a Saturday. If you can't make it, we have the permanent drug box, which is always in the lobby of the police department. You can come by anytime. Other towns' police departments bring their drugs to ours, which is fine. When the lobby's open, it's open. If the town hall is open and we're not there, you can come downstairs through the upstairs to get access to it. It's under video surveillance. It's bolted to the floor. Just if you put your drugs in there, just make sure you shake the bin to make sure they get all the way down into the bucket there. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other department heads? Thank you.
Yay.
It's a quiet one.
Hey, there's Bob.
Here comes
They're
Mr.
always
Boyd.
Quiet. They have to be.
The library.
It's a library. They have to be quiet.
Oh, I just got that.
Boring than that. Building permits, or mechanical permits are on the increase. I'm at about 100 now so far that's been issued. Generally run about 400 a year, so kind of on par right now. But please remember to get those applications to me at least 30 days prior to when you want to start. Coming in on Thursday afternoon at 4, telling me the concrete truck's coming at Monday morning at 8 is not going to get your permit for you. So try to get it to me as soon as you can. Right now, the permit rate is manageable. In another month, I'll have 3 layers of permit applications on my desk with 30, and people coming in saying, when's this going to be done? It takes a long time sometimes, so please remember to get those in early, as soon as you can. Several zoning investigations I'm working on right now. Also have had several health complaints. Zoning could be anything from junkyards to illegal use of campers, whatever it may be. Got several complaints going on for that. And the health issues, a lot of that's been septic failures. So dealing with those things. So that's about it in a nutshell, besides the Joint Loss Committee information that Joe already talked about. That's about it for me for now.
Thank you.
Bob.
Anyone else? Department heads? Nope, okay. All right, we will do our signature items now. The manifest. We don't have too many, oh, you know what, we have some volunteer forms, though. Actually, one thing I will bring up now is that we have a plethora of volunteers for the dam committee, which is fantastic. I think I counted 9.
Oh, there was quite a few, yes.
Yep. And the committee, we proposed to be 5 members plus a selectman's rep plus a DPW rep plus 2 alternates.
Yes.
So with 9, I believe, applications, we have to pick 5.
7, we would pick 7.
Two
7.
alternates,
Two
yeah. So I guess
alternates,
it's, is anyone here who applied to be part of the dam committee?
Mr. Vavro's here.
Mr.
Yep.
Vavro? And this gentleman over there?
Well, you win. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to, and putting in for the committee. Who else do we have back there? Doug? Did I see your name in here?
Norm is here. There's a gentleman raising his.
Chris Martin in the back.
Martin's in the back.
Oh, all right, so we have Norm.
This guy came in good.
Doug, I don't see one for you. Did you submit a form, Doug?
Did not, but I told someone I would do it.
Okay. Well, you're not,
Actually,
it's
I
not
have,
here.
No, there was a form.
Doug, I have a form here. I brought some just in case.
Good.
If you want to fill it out after, okay?
All right. So at least for the first 3 members, I'll make a motion, as long as Christopher Martin, Matt Vavro, and Norm St. Pierre still want to do it. Yes? Chris, yes? Norm, yes? All right. I make a motion to approve those 3 gentlemen as 3 of the 5 members of the board.
I second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right.
Congratulations.
And thank you. All right, and then we have many other qualified members for a grateful board. Does anybody have any other kind of nominations that stand out to them, or people that they know, personally recommend, that we're aware of? Anybody else? Nope.
I would say, well, Matt, we already got, right? There's him off. Chris?
I don't think anybody would argue with Stu Lord.
I was just
being
going
on
to
it.
say, Stu Lord he's applying as well.
Can I ask a question
Yep.
while you're looking through those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we engaged MSK to finish the job they started?
We are, we're saving up, we have the money, right, from the,
Which was
something.
designated for MSK
Yeah.
for our contract.
Yep.
And they have a job that they were supposed to finish.
Yep, and I've been talking with Sean Bergeron about it, so.
I'm asking if we engaged MSK to finish what they started, I guess. Yes
We're-
or no.
Yeah, to answer Adam's question, I know that Matt Vavro, myself, others, we're pulling all the previous reports and everything together.
Right.
And
No, I
then as we stand up the committee, we'll engage with MSK, yeah.
I feel like the sooner the better, though, because
Yep.
we've already paid, we're
We're
already
paying-
committed to paying them to do the job. We
Yep.
should get that going.
Well,
even bef-
Turner is the next step, not MSK, it's Turner.
Or,
The project is through
MSK, right.
MSK is the lead on the project. Whoever they outsource to is
yeah,
fine.
they'd actually be like the contractor project management company.
But not building it. They're
No,
engineering it. They've already
there's
gone
the
through-
engineers, yeah.
So the town voted to spend $165,000 with MSK to finish this project and not wait any longer. I'm wondering why we aren't engaged.
Well, thank you for emphasizing the fact that, why we have a dam committee now. So, we're gonna have them.
But it's not the dam
and look at-
committee's responsibility, it's ours to engage with them.
We will, wait,
The dam committee is being put in place to get everything up to snuff, gather all the information in one place, and
I feel like we're just burning time. Like, we've already,
okay, so do you wanna take it up then and follow up and get
I
the
will-
MSK
sure.
contract? And
absolutely.
find out the status on where
Yep.
we are with it? Thank you.
just a follow-up to Adam's comments and questions. One of the conditions that Congressman Pappas is a gentleman named Colin Pio. He actually writes the appropriations, right? He's the office lead. He asked me if the project would be shovel-ready this time next year when the federal money came, right? And I told him, yes, we're doing the engineering, we'll have design packages, we'll be ready to bid. And so when that federal money comes in, we can start construction. So, yeah, we do have to have all this in place.
That was my concern, is
Yeah.
we've already gone through the process, 3 different steps. We've been working on this since I got elected for 3 years now.
They can't hear you.
We've been working on this for 3 years now, so that was my concern, is we've already engaged them for 2 different processes. We've contracted with them for the 3rd process, and now we're kicking the can, waiting for a committee to decide if we want to commit to something we already committed to.
No, we just decided Jake was gonna follow up.
So that's great. That's why I was asking the question. Let's get them
Matt
engaged and get
Vavro
it
had a
started.
question as well.
So I think a good reason for forming the committee is to look at all the information we have.
Right.
Because there's quite a bit of it. And before we commit MSK to do a construction package, I think it's important that the board agrees that all those individual parts of the project need to be completed.
Right, and I'm
If
not.
if I might just finish. Yep. So looking at all the information, that was done 3-4 years ago. So I think it's important for the committee to look at the report that MSK did and advise the board that some of this needs to be updated, some of this is acceptable, some is good. So before we just hire MSK to spend $160,000 more, let's make sure that what we're looking at is truly what we need, and that's all I'm saying.
So my point was, it's not spending $165,000 on something new. We've already committed. We've signed a contract with MSK, and it's not a matter of I think the committee is a bad idea. I don't. It's fine. Have more eyes on it, the better. But MSK is an engineering firm. We hired them to engineer what is wrong with the dam, because if we allow a committee or a group of citizens or even this board to decide what's wrong with the dam, and that's not correct, then we are liable. We're spending that extra money with an engineering firm to save our ass so we don't flood Ossipee.
So if I just make one more comment, when you read the reports.
Matt, we can't hear you. Can you come up to the
You want to
microphone?
come up front so people in the back can hear?
Should I turn around since the microphone?
Yeah, so
So
they
if
can.
you read the reports from the state clearly classifies the dam as low hazard. And in that classification, they say that they will not impose any requirements or guidelines or specifications upon the dam because it poses no risk to flooding or human life or anything else. So yes, the state has done multiple inspections, but clearly states that that they will not impose requirements. So that's why I think it's good that we slow down, put it in neutral, look at the report that MSK did, which by the way is excellent. And let's just make sure it's current. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
So then, Joy, I would like to make a recommendation for Curtis, Charlie, and Ed Krautman to add them.
Okay.
Curtis seems to have some experience with heavy equipment. Charlie's a construction manager. Ted has the largest tract of land on the lake. Mike Lewis.
Okay, so we need at least one to be full-time and two to be alternate.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I don't
who
care.
would you recommend?
I would say I would leave that up to the board and everybody's schedules. Why would we
Okay, so we'll
put
just.
somebody, yeah, give them the 7 and let them figure it out and see who wants to do what.
Yeah, okay, all right. Then I will make a motion to also appoint Stu Lord, Curtis Gillis, Ed Krautman, and Charlie Allen to the committee, and let them decide amongst themselves who would be an
Yeah,
alternate.
perfect.
Okay, perfect. Is that good, Nicole?
That sounds
All in
good.
favor?
Who's the second?
I made a
We didn't make a
motion, who
motion.
seconded? I think I made a motion.
I'll second.
Joe seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jim?
Yep.
Jake?
Yes.
Okay. There are the names.
Thank you.
And we thank the other folks for volunteering. Hopefully you will still attend meetings and participate. And we'll make sure the board has those names in case someone is not able to fulfill their duties.
All right, so I will not do anything until I hear from the committee.
No, we just gave you permission to,
But he said he wanted to go through to make sure that they weren't going to engineer something we didn't need.
well, we've already signed the contract, as Adam said. I mean, I assume you're just gonna find the contract at least and.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is fine, but okay, so I will move forward then. All right.
We paid them.
Well,
We've
I
already
agree.
committed to a contract.
No,
so-
I agree.
Yeah, if you don't mind just
No,
finding the.
that's fine.
Yep.
I have the
Finding the
I have the
Getting
a hold of the
report and everything in
contract.
my
Yeah,
in my truck.
yep, just getting a hold of the contract.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we also have, did we already do Pastor Drew? Andrew Anderson, affectionately known as Pastor Drew, as a member of the rec committee.
We appointed him as an alternate last time.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that one.
And then we have the purchase rec, that Chief Brooks just gave us for the AEDs. Chief, when you have a moment, do you mind signing the, as department head? Is he still here, Chief Brooks?
I think
No,
he
I
left.
think he departed.
Okay.
It's in the bathroom.
Yeah,
there's his
true.
truck. Is that his truck?
No.
Never mind.
He needs some sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, he's tired.
Joy, there is in that as well, I think from the rec. That's, yeah, but there's a green slip. Is that, yeah, I was
Should
gonna
be
say.
headed your way.
Yep, all right.
Was the volunteer form in there for our track and field coach?
I don't have one.
What
You
was
have
their
one of
name? Was- do you have-
Catherine Meek.
Oh, I didn't
I think we already signed that one, I think.
Oh, she's not gotten anything in return.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember. No, I don't recall.
Hold on.
Is she here tonight, Adam? No.
I doubt it. I asked this question at the town hall before Kate resigned, and the answer that I got was that none of those forms got signed that night, and chairman took them over, so you had it at that moment.
I didn't take anything home. I didn't take anything for Catherine Meeks home.
You
Sign that one?
sign that one, yep.
We won't do track and field tomorrow, I guess.
Would be more like swimming.
Could be,
Yeah,
could be.
crazy.
I can meet you at Town Hall tomorrow if you wish, and, or I can look at Town
Catherine
Hall and,
Meeks.
hmm?
Is that named? I don't remember seeing that one.
Not yet, no, we're just, yeah, so no, we're just, the board believes that we signed a volunteer form for, you said T-ball coach?
No, track
Track and field coach, but apparently it is, missing at the moment. So we just want to make sure that we find it so that they can in fact start track and field.
I got quite a few rep, but I don't have her.
That's the 14th.
Hi, Ms. Gagnon.
Can I just call her and see if she can come tomorrow and do what we're gonna do now? Sign it?
But she's already signed it and sent it in. They have it.
Yeah,
Well-
I haven't seen the
Ray's saying that she
format,
doesn't
I'm not
have
sure.
it, so they need a new one.
So, yeah.
They are 14th.
Oh, Jesus.
She'll turn them in also.
Is that the last one?
Well, we got other things. Fit a lot in that folder.
Maybe that missing piece of paper.
Jake, was this the intent to cut?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
mentioned.
Yeah, it's not.
All right. And then Jake, if you don't mind looking at the one, here, can you pass the folder down? That only requires one signature, but I'm not quite sure what it is. All right. All right, anything else? Nope.
Are these separate, like these requests for the beach, you're good with? I have 2 of them in my packet.
Do we have an original to be signed?
I don't know, I guess we have to sign them to approve them. Am I signing this? Is this the sole signature?
Yeah, I think that one will land.
All right, these are 2 requests for the use of town property. Port of the Lake Beach. One for a class lunch, and the other for a congregation picnic.
What's up?
There's the lines right here.
All right, I'll check tomorrow to see if we have originals, but do we have the blessing of the board to sign the originals when identified? It just requires 1 signature for Jake or I to sign those, the 2
Is that for
foot
the
of the lake
beach?
forms, yeah. Okay,
They
make a
don't,
motion?
I don't know if we would look anywhere else where there would be, so I just don't know if it's conflicting with anybody else.
Yeah, well, I'll check at the front desk.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
All right, I'll accept a motion to sign out of session.
So moved?
Jake, second by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right, now the fun part. Public comment. Because we,
I would like to speak as you move into public comments. I would like to make a personal statement as well.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Speak up.
You know, everybody knows I'm new. This is my 3rd meeting, and I've, in the last few weeks, I've witnessed a lot of back and forth and ugliness on Facebook and that type of thing, and I'm trying to make sense of it all. And, you know, I was really questioning, going, what did I get myself into here? But I put some notes together, and I just want to share it with all of you tonight. You know, I would like to make a brief personal statement regarding the petition calling for the resignation of Selectman Joy Gray that has been circulating around town. I heard about the petition from several people last week, and the fact that something like this is underway, it really upsets me. I'm like, trying to make sense, what's going on here? It is not something that I believe is warranted. Let me make very clear and to the point, I will not endorse or participate in this petition-based coup d'etat effort and the ongoing personal attacks of any fellow board member. This is just wrong and should not be tolerated by any of us here tonight. I believe what we are seeing is a concerted effort by a small minority of town residents to undermine the legitimacy of any of a duly elected Board of Selectmen. During the recent Madison elections, the voters clearly voiced their opinion that they wanted to see a clean break from the past. The voters are looking for solutions and a smoothly functioning and efficient town government. I believe this is the goal of all of us here on the Select Board, and we have started moving forward with these goals. We're hiring new people, we are moving forward. The new board has only been in place for a few weeks. You know, I'm new, this is my 3rd meeting. However, some of us, including myself, are being judged and attacked without even given a fair opportunity to prove ourselves. You know, changes take time, so I'm asking all of you for your patience and support as the new board works to address many important issues. You may or may not approve of my performance or the performance of any other board member. You have an absolute right to voice your concerns, and I fully respect your opinions. That's why we are here tonight. We may not always agree, but we must be civil and respectful to each other in our discussions. Every March, we have an opportunity to voice our opinions on Election Day. Voting for the candidate of our choice is the best and proper way to voice our opinions. The candidate each of us chooses to vote for may not win the election. However, I believe all of us have a duty and obligation to respect the will of the voters. Actions like this petition only serve to undermine the will of the voters and further divide our community. We are facing many serious challenges in the next couple of years. replacement of the Silver Lake Dam, which we have been discussing, construction of a new DPW salt shed, maintenance of our road infrastructure, and implementation of a capital improvement plan. The petition and personal attacks are distracting all of us from the work we need to focus on. I am asking each of you to remember that we are all on the same home team here. We all have a choice to make here tonight. Do we continue to fight amongst ourselves to the detriment of this town? Or do we decide to work together and focus on solving challenges and moving forward? I know what my choice will be. I am asking each of you for your support of the new select board as we roll up our sleeves and get back to work. Thank you.
Go, Joe.
No, as I said, it bothers me to see this. You know, we have so much to do together. You know, we want to work together here, and we need to stop this internal bickering. And that's the point. That is my public statement tonight.
Okay, public. Matt?
I just want to ask.
Yep, stand at the microphone and kindly speak to the board. You have to speak.
Why are we,
You have to move this way.
why are we in such a hurry to spend $160,000? No one's in charge of this project. No one. So we're going to spend $160,000 with no one managing the project. I'd like to think we're better than that. I'd like to ask the board to put it in neutral. We do not have a project manager. I'm not saying it's me. It's nobody. We're going to spend $160,000, then potentially $1.5 million more with nobody in charge. Can we just put it in neutral? That's what I asked the board. The dam is not going to fail. We are no liability whatsoever. Look at the state reports. We're under no obligation whatsoever. Look at the state reports. I ask, let's put it in neutral until we can look at all the information, report to the board. The board can choose a project manager. We already have Sean Bergeron involved to some degree, right? He knows what's going on. I'm not saying he'll be the project manager, but let's put it in neutral until we know what we're doing and we can have someone in charge. That's what I ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
So Jake, your action items at this point, as you understand it, are?
Yeah, what are my action items? Please inform me what I need to do so I can do what is the will of the people.
I believe that you were going to find the MSK contract and see what we have obligated ourselves to.
Okay. Easy enough.
Okay.
Hey, just clarify, you want me to sign this? I'm sorry.
Yes, if
Okay.
you don't, if you're comfortable.
Yeah,
with it.
absolutely. I just
Okay.
wanted to.
And we do have some missing signatures on this stuff, but I'll grab.
Yeah,
I'll grab you
they
guys.
missed a couple. But,
Yep.
so.
Okay. All right.
There's a gentleman there, Doug.
Just a quick suggestion.
Got to come to the microphone.
Just a quick suggestion.
Wait, don't make it till you're at the microphone.
I'm sure they can hear me, but just a quick suggestion. If you have another meeting in this room, make sure to get speakers here.
Yes.
Because the people in the back just are out of it. So,
Yep. All right. Thank you, Doug.
yeah.
Come up.
Yes, I'm Bob Spring. I live on the lake. I appreciate the gentleman's comments over here about putting the things in neutral until we figure out where things are. But if we have a commitment to the Congressman Pappas's office, we'll have a plan in place in a year. I don't know how much time you have to drag things out.
Oh, I'm
Deb-
sorry. Deb had actually said on the corner of my eye.
Deb Parsons, I live in Idlewice. Just want to offer my support to all of you that are on the board. I get to say I voted for all of you. So I have every faith and confidence that you can do what we need you to do in your positions. And I still am disheartened sitting in the audience here today, hearing the vitriol that exists. I'm hearing selectmen pounding the table. I'm seeing people in the audience pointing their finger maliciously at people up here in the selectmen's positions. There just isn't a place for that in our government. We're all working together. We're not all going to agree. We just aren't. But we can do it civilly. So I would just hope moving forward that we could all show that we are neighbors, and while we don't agree, we can still conduct ourselves with respect and honor each other as human beings. Secondly, I do have a question, and I know you don't have to answer it because this is public comment, but I'm aware that talking about any personnel issues is something that does not happen in public, but I haven't been in touch with an official in the Carroll County Attorney's Office and have been told that there is an investigation related to the town of Madison. And I am just wondering if this would be related to the use of the equipment that has been going around in public, if you can speak to that, or if you know of an investigation. And that's my question.
Thank you.
I'm not aware of any investigations related to the personal use of equipment that's been discussed in public.
Gotta speak louder.
I am not aware of any investigations into the personal use of town equipment that has been a subject of public discussion.
All right, first I'm going to say two things. One, I wasn't a part of the bullying on Facebook.
Yeah, say
I'm going to
louder.
do my best. There's no microphones. I'm sorry.
He can't.
Can't. Board procedure, I have to speak to the chair.
Or you can move back maybe a little bit.
I can do my best to move back. But anyway, I wasn't part of the bullying online. I did not sign the petition. I didn't solicit signatures for the petition. I'm aware that it's out there. But what you need to understand is at what point is enough enough? We have now had 3 people resign, specifically citing being mistreated by your current chair. All 3 of them. 1 an elected official, 2 hired employees. Okay, they've all resigned with the same complaint. At what point are we done? Because we're talking about working together. We're talking about doing things better for the town. But the town hall right now is upside down. Town clerk is having trouble doing his job because we no longer have a treasurer. Payroll is going out in check form by people without background checks in personal material. There's things going on that shouldn't be happening at that town hall. All because 3 people left citing the current chair as the reason and being mistreated and micromanaged. And none of this is bullying when it becomes fact. We have now almost lost $65,000 in PFAS grants because you mismanaged the PFAS things. We've lost 3 employees because you mismanaged 3 employees. And then you go and break RSAs and have public meetings without public postings. And I'm not talking about your non-meeting post. That was whatever.
I own that.
That's fine. It was an accident. But we're talking about posting, specifically posting a non-public meeting and then going into a public meeting with no record of it. I've still yet to see minutes. So at what point is enough enough? It's not a small minority of people that want this to stop happening. We understand there's change. We understand there are problems that need to be fixed. We all want to be a part of the solution. But how many more employees do we have to lose before we realize there is a problem, a real one? And they've all cited it.
If you could give some examples of the mismanagement to which you speak,
To which one?
any of it. Could you give some specific examples?
Yes, I
of-
can
of
specifically say that the
mismanagement?
I think it's $65,000 PFAS grant. The reason that I asked this board to remove it from you and give it to Mike is because we were already past the deadline to have supposed to have spent some of those funds before the state would take it. Luckily, our town clerk was able to talk to the state and engage them in extending that timeline. there is your source. There's your problem. There was no solution. The solution was to take it away from you, which is what I asked the board to do. And the same thing with resignation letters from Jordan, Kate, and Linda. Not naming you by name because they are respectful people and I respect them for that, but citing the chair and current treatment by the board. Well, I can tell you from personal experience, it was your treatment of those people and constantly telling Linda that she wasn't doing her job correctly and then taking credit for a truck grant that you had absolutely nothing to do with. It was an NHMA grant that went into our bin that we brought to the table. You happen to be the one to say it out loud. Nobody at this table is looking for credit, but the person who should have got it was Linda. And she didn't. She got berated regularly for not handling it appropriately, yet saving the town $250,000.
You've made some pretty broad statements. Again, I would
They're
like
not
some.
broad. They're very
broad.
pointed.
No. Again,
You
I would
sat
like.
at the table
I would
and
like
said that Linda
specific-
mismanaged the date, and it shouldn't have been handled this way. You were consistently berating her at the table. Watch the tape.
I do.
My point is, when is enough enough? People don't leave jobs. They leave people, and they left you.
Again, if you could give some actual.
just did.
You really didn't. You really didn't. And, you know, it's very unfortunate what happened with the treasurer. Sure.
People in the back can't hear, yeah.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened to our treasurer. There was a computer glitch and access got cut, and she sent an email to the board, but unfortunately, mine. Yes.
I don't know if I should.
You are totally out of line, and you know it. Those computers were shut down. I was working on it. She hasn't finished talking yet. I don't care.
Everyone, please, 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 everyone, please. So as I was saying, there was a computer glitch. An email was sent to the board members. 3 of us did not receive them because our email addresses were incorrect. We aren't able to act on things we don't know about. Once we knew about it, we acted immediately. Our phone numbers are available, our correct email addresses are available online. So I don't know, I mean, we can't fix problems we don't know about.
Is that the only reason for her resignation, or were there other reasons cited?
Well, you seem to know. Would you like to share any reasons that you know? And
Yes, you can.
Good evening. Has the board received a petition?
no, we haven't received any petition.
Okay. And my comment is that there's always 2 sides to the story. And to make accusations without proof is suspect. So if these accusations can be verified with examples, videotape, verification of any sort, bring it on. But too many accusations are being made without being supported. And there's always 2 sides to the story.
I find in a lot of cases there's way more than 2. Kate, could you come to the microphone, please?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Okay.
You know darn well you had the computer shut down when I was working on it on Tuesday and Wednesday. Jordan resigned because she couldn't do her job, Joy, because you shut Linda's computer down, and you know you did, because I talked with Northledge Computer on Thursday, and Rob told me that you ordered it to be shut down. That is the truth.
I have the email that says that the computers were to be, the accounts were to be disabled at 7 p.m. on Thursday evening.
Right, they told, you asked Rob, he called me and told me that you ordered them to be shut down. That caused work to be stopped.
I have the email, and I've spoken with Northledge, and we agree that there was a miscommunication.
I'd like to see the email, Joy, because I don't
Public
believe
record.
you.
It's
I don't believe you.
okay.
I don't, I'm sorry. You shut my computer down. I couldn't work. So on my last day that I resigned, I worked until 9 o'clock that night to get stuff done.
I didn't
Because you had
receive.
the computer shut down. Jordan could not do the reconciliation of the accounts because you shut the computer off. We couldn't get into it.
We didn't receive notification
At
that they were
8:09,
turned
oh,
off.
no, at 8:09 on Wednesday night, I sent an email to every single one of you. I did, not Jordan, me.
And I wish we had
You
known
didn't answer it until
sooner.
11:11 the next morning.
I wish we had received a phone call or been notified
received an
during
email.
business hours so
I'm
that we
done.
could have
Received
taken
an
care of it
email,
right away.
and you are wrong.
Linda Haver, 35 Pebblebrook Road, Madison. I'm not involved in the town a lot as far as, I try to stay abreast of things. I either come to the select board meetings or I watch them on television. And I've never seen any of you be disrespectful to anybody. But I have seen other people speak rudely, and I think we're seeing it tonight. I haven't seen Joy be disrespectful, but I have seen other people be disrespectful. And I just want to say, our eyes don't lie.
Any other public comment? Well, you don't get to motion to adjourn. And you know, and I would like to, I'll take a moment to make a comment, I guess. I'll be a little cheesy and I'll start with a quote, and some of you may recognize it, some of you may not. The truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. There are many angry people who have been fed rumors, lies, and innuendos about me. I can't blame them for being angry. If I heard all of this about someone, I imagine I'd be pretty angry too. They're being told some pretty awful stuff, and it's coming from people they trust, so of course they believe them. But the truth will set you free. Free from being riled up, free from being used as a pawn in this bizarre and dangerous game. The truth will piss you off first because you'll understand the betrayal of being lied to by people you trusted, who have riled up a town with rumors and false information and then sat in the background enjoying their work. That truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. And there's another component to these attacks. Some of the truth that would set us all free are things that I can't talk about at this table. And that's actually one of the clever parts of these attacks. Some of the truths that would set us all free would be pointing out who actually is responsible for things I'm being accused of. But I can't do that here in this forum, even if it is the truth, and it would clear my name. I'm also being closely watched to see if I say something I shouldn't, in public, on camera, as proof of misconduct that would cause my removal, even if what I say is the truth. So I try to speak accurately, but carefully. It's in my personal best interest to say nothing, to not address any of the attacks. But in an effort to restore trust and put an end to this surreal madness, I try to answer as much as I can, to dispel as many rumors as I can. But if you still trust the people who lied to you, who have riled you up enough to go on the attack, or to sign a petition, or quit your job, the truth won't matter, and there's little I can do about that. I would, however, welcome an investigation to talk with authorities about the truth of goings-on in Madison, should people wish to launch an investigation into me. The truth behind the accusations, the truth of how people have been used, will set people free, but I bet it will piss them off first. So, and one thing that I want everyone to remember is that all of this that's been happening, the accusations, the petitions, all the things, is why people don't come forward, is why I agreed to be the voice of the people. I agreed to take these hits. I agreed to be Operation Human Shield to protect every single person that has come to me in confidence. This is why people don't come forward. And if you take satisfaction in people quitting their jobs over lies they believed or over solvable problems, and you want to see town operations shut down and 2,500 people feel the impact of misguided chaos, you might want to take some time for self-reflection. As a result of all of this, I triple check that my doors are locked at night and my security cameras are on. And I look over my shoulder when I'm driving, and sometimes I will pull over and let a car pass if I don't feel safe. And if your reaction to that was good, then I think you want to think about where you are in your life that you feel good about bullying and harassment. That's all I have.
Hello, Sherry Stackpole.
Oh, nice loud voice. Yes.
I get it. There's a lot of people in the back that couldn't hear us. I just want to say that I was on the PTO with Joy. I worked on the rec committee with Joy. There was never a time she raised her voice to us, belittled us, or yelled at us. I find the accusations very skeptical. I have, however, watched the board meetings where she's been yelled at, screamed at, and spoken to in a manner that I am just in shock by community members, by men, and by previous employees. I really, really hope after tonight, everybody can move forward and join together and continue the progress that people have been making on this board. I appreciate the people that reached back out to me after I sent the select board an email. Joy, Joe, Nicole, thank you. I appreciate that. The petition, if you don't have a folder called temper tantrums, put one together and file it under there.
All right. With no further comment, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion going on public.
All in
Oh,
favor?
wait, we need a motion to go into non-public.
We still have a non-public?
All right.
Yes, we do.
Doing a non-public tonight?
We'll rescind the motion to adjourn.
Well, it's in there.
Motion to
I
go.
will accept a motion to go into non-public for 91A, semicolon 3, parenthetical B, hiring. For hiring of any person or
I
individual.
will second that.
All right.
All in favor?
Roll call.
Nicole, aye.
Jake, aye.
Goodbye. Joe?
Aye.
Joy, aye.
We gotta go back to the town.
Are we going to